the part of the Indian government. Now, the Indian government is divided into three distinct branches. For example, the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. As the name suggests, LEG, legal. So, this legislative body is the law making body which makes laws for India, right? What are the laws that will sustain on this land? So there are two houses. One is the Lok Sabha, the other is the Rajya Sabha at the center, at the union that I talk of. So those the two are your the two comprise of the Parliament of India, which is called as the legislative body. Of course, along with the president, because without president, no bill, no nothing can become a law. Anything that has been suggested, that has been brought to the table, becomes a law only when the president gives his assent to it, right? So first is the legislative that you see on your screen. Now, whatever laws are being made, the rules that have been formed, these rules will be implemented by the other body that is called the executive, that you see as the third. On the third side, there is no such uh, number being allotted. This is one or two. So the second one is the executive. Execute karna. So whatever has been decided as a rule, as a procedure, whatever is the rule book, the law, the executive will be responsible for implementing. Okay? And in making the laws and in executing the laws, if there is any discrepancy, any unjust has been done to anybody, कोई भी clash है, there is a third body which is an independent body which is there to resolve all the conflicts in the entire law making procedure, that is the judiciary. So the three are independent, yet there are the framework is such that they keep a check on each other's action so that no organ of the government ever becomes omnipowerful, omnipotent, and tries to act as a dictator body, right? So, careful study of the constitution will show that there are at least 8 basic principles which are embodied in it and which form the foundation of the political system in India. These are, so there is no such thing that these are the only 8 principles. But yes, with time to time, like I told you, Supreme Court keeps on telling you what all comprise of the basic features. For example, the popular sovereignty. Popular word comes from populism, popular, people. So, who is the uh, main authority? Who is the supreme power? हम बोलते हैं constitution is the supreme law. Now again, who has made that constitution? We the people of India give to ourselves. So sovereign कौन है? Real sovereign, the people. Because the law making body, the Lok Sabha, which is directly elected by the people, who makes law? लोक सभा में किसके representatives हैं? आपके. आपके representatives law बना रहे हैं country के लिए. Ultimately कौन law बना रहा है? Because you put in faith in that representative, that is why you have voted for him and he is there to make law for you. So popular sovereignty, socialism, secularism, fundamental rights, DPSPs, judicial independence. जुडिशरी का होना ही काफी नहीं होता. Independence is the most important function that has to be ensured with a branch, with an organ called judiciary. Federalism and cabinet government, right? Now, the amendment of the constitution, like I talked about. So the basic structure of the constitution is unchangeable, and only such amendments to the constitution are allowed which do not affect the basic structure. I told you initially there were some doubts कि धीरे धीरे इवॉल्व हो रहा था, राइट? तो कुछ टाइम टू टाइम कंफ्यूजन्स रहते हैं. अल्टीमेटली द पार्लियामेंट इज ऑल्सो a body which is functioning and facing the challenges with the changing times. So with the series of cases, we finally realized, and the doctrine was given by the Supreme Court, कि क्वेश्चन था कि पार्लियामेंट किस चीज को चेंज कर सकता है और किसको चेंज नहीं कर सकता है. ओके, what can be changed, what cannot be changed. So finally it was decided with the Kesavananda case that Supreme Court can change anything, any part of the constitution, even the ninth schedule. So a ninth schedule was brought, which was made immune from judicial review. Immune from judicial review मतलब जो भी नाइन्थ शेड्यूल के अंदर मेंशन होगा, जुडिशरी उसको छेड़ नहीं सकता. यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट. ऐसा लेकर हम आए थे नाइन्थ शेड्यूल को, बट इन द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो सुप्रीम कोर्ट कैन इवन चेंज दैट, can judicially review that schedule also and can make whatever changes they wanted. हमने देखा है how judiciary has always come to the fore and talked about the constitutionality of any particular law, that whether it is constitutional or not, right? बस एक चीज का ध्यान रखना है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कुछ भी चेंज कर सकता है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कुछ भी चेंज हो सकता है, but it shall not go against the basic structure, right? And the idea is that it is not robbed of its essential, the living spirit with which the constitution was being made, right? So there are three amendments that are brought to the constitution. The first one being the simple majority of the parliament. सिंपल मेजोरिटी का मतलब ही है कि अगर पार्लियामेंट की मेजोरिटी सिंपल चाहिए, इसका मतलब जो चेंजेस आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लेकर आ रहे हो वो बहुत ही कंट्रोवर्शियल नेचर के नहीं होंगे. एक सिंपल मेजोरिटी हमें चाहिएगी. किसकी सिंपल मेजोरिटी? किसकी? ऑफ द मेंबर्स हु आर प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग बिफोर सेंडिंग देम फॉर द प्रेसिडेंट्स असेंबली, राइट? Now the second one reads the special majority of the parliament. अब जब हम बोलते हैं special majority, special का मतलब क्या हो गया? The amendment that has been brought might be of some controversial nature, might be affecting many features of the constitution. तो ऐसे चेंज को करने के लिए हम एक सिंपल मेजोरिटी नहीं, उस प्रोसेस को हमने थोड़ा टफ बनाया है, राइट? And we call that majority as what? We call it special majority. Now how special? The amendments can be made in this category by, you should know it, simple majority का मतलब होता है 50% of the present and voting plus one. ठीक, सिंपल हो गया, जितने लोग आए हैं उसमें से आधे से एक ज्यादा, 50% plus one. ठीक, आधे से एक ज्यादा अगर वोट जिस भी कैटेगरी के फेवर में पड़ता है, that will win it, right? स्पेशल में हमको टफ बनाना है तो इतना तो श्योर है कि 50% प्लस 1 से ज्यादा होगा, और वो कितना होगा? 2/3 of the total members of the present and voting. So 2/3 gives you somewhere around 67%. So that makes the process tough. You need to have 67% yes or no of the present and voting, and we should not be less than half of the total membership of the house. So that is special majority. And the final one is, suppose you are trying to bring an amendment to the constitution which is also affecting the federal structure of the constitution. अब फेडरल का मतलब क्या हो गया? सेंटर पे भी इफेक्ट जा रहा है और स्टेट पे भी जा रहा है, ठीक? इन दैट केस along with the special majority, स्पेशल तो चाहिए ही, साथ में because it is affecting the states also, you will also need ratification of at least half of the state legislature. So suppose if you have 28 states, 50% of the states, मतलब at least 14 states भी उसको yes बोलें तो उस amendment को हम okay करेंगे, yes consider करेंगे, otherwise not. And third is the case only when the proposed amendment tries to bring a change or it tries to affect the federal structure of the constitution. Okay. So you can see this. how 2/3 of the total at present and voting, right? So the Indian Supreme Court and the Election Commission are recognized as the bedrock of Indian democracy. And these two bodies stand up to the enormous powers that the Constitution invests in the central government in general and to the unbridled powers of the Indian Prime Minister in particular. So the checks and balances that are provided by the Constitution also smooth out the strained relations between the central government and the states by limiting the central government's ability to interfere in the state's affairs. Usually, either the state government or a political party may file an appeal or a writ petition in the Supreme Court against a policy or practice of the union or a state. So, although the Indian Constitution, we have seen it, we have discussed where we have adopted all the features from, and we know that we follow a British parliamentary system. Yet, there are changes because the British parliamentary system, who is sovereign? The parliament. Whatever the parliamentarians will decide will go. But that is not the case in India. Constitution is the rule book. So it is the constitution and not the parliament that is supreme here. As in US, the Indian courts interpret the constitution and educate the laws passed by the parliament. Now, see, if there is something being written in the constitution which might not be easily comprehensible to the citizenry, or there can be multiple interpretations to a given law, है ना? किसी भी law के कई interpretations हो सकते हैं, किसी भी statement or sentence के for that matter. But finally, which one is the final word? Who has the final word to decide? It is the judiciary, it is the Supreme Court that has the ultimate power to interpret the constitution. So, although the parliament has the authority to amend the constitution, the India's courts have made sure that the parliament does not change its fundamental structure, which guarantees economic opportunities, social justice, and religious and political freedom to all its citizens. So, although political corruption and coercion are rampant in India, as they are in the other developing countries, the courts are judiciary guarantors of the India's freedom from the oppression.